Welcome back to the Mid-Year YouTube channel. Today's episode, we're taking a close look at the tank sticker on the 1968 Corvette to see all the options the car has, talk about the history, and compare it to what the car looks like now. So be sure to stick around. I figured I'd make a little different video this time and dive into the sales codes of this a little bit more because I like watching graveyard cars, and Mark does a really good job breaking down the sales codes and talk about some of the rare cars that he gets in the shop. So I figured I would give it a try. So I got the gas tank sitting up here on the bench so we can get a better look at the tank sticker. So this sticker was put on the gas tank when it went down the assembly line so they would know what options would go on the car. And now we can go the opposite way with it. We can use this to tell us what options should be on the car and help validate it. So we've got the car was built 10/13/67. We've got the dealer number here, which looks like a 115. Corvette order copy. So to help us get an idea what this car looked like when it was new, I have the sticker here. I took a picture of it. It's just easier to blow up on my phone. I have my black book here to give us all the information about the sales codes, the units produced, and then also pricing. And then just to make it easy, I copied all this information onto a piece of paper and then added the details from the black book here. So if we go down through this list, we should get an idea of what this car exactly what this car looked like whenever it was brand new. So we have the sales code, the description, and how many of them were produced. So starting off the top, we know that this is we know it's a convertible right here. And that was RPO code 467, and there were 18,630 of those produced. The most important option on here, which it's kind of hard to see, but L71, we come over here. Of course, it's right where there's this tear and a lot of discoloration. That's where I would want to see. But we've got a 435. You see that 5 horsepower. Then we've got right here, it's hard to make out, turbojet V8. So we do have a true 427, 435 horse car. We know that's 427, 435 horse, L71. They made 2,898 of those. So that's one of our most rare options on the sheet. Going down to the next line, we have transistor ignition. So we know that's K66, 5,457 of those. Jumping down, we have the transmission, and we have, barely be able to make that out. We have an M21, so we know that is our close ratio Muncie transmission. There were 12,337. That was a very widely selected option. The next here we have tires, and you can see that there's a blank between these two lines. So we know it just had standard tires on it. We have a rip here, but we know that's our convertible top. So we have a vinyl roof black, so that is your convertible soft top. So it had a black soft top. Auxiliary hardtop, again, there's a rip there, but we do see that it has an auxiliary hardtop, so that's CO7, and they made 8,735 of those. And then below that, we have the radio code. It just says AM, FM. The code's kind of hard to make out there, but we know we have the code U69. They made 29,920 of those, so a lot of cars with radios, which, you know, that checks out. So then we jump down here to the next section. So these must just be your base options that a lot of cars would come with. And then on top of these are just the extra options, I guess, just how they grouped them together. So we can just barely make out here tinted, and it says A01. So A01, soft ray tinted windows for all windows. That's 17,635, which this option used to be rare whenever like Mid-Years had it. So at this point, it was a pretty standard option. And then next we have head restraints. It's hard to make out there, but we can see there's an A82, 3100, 97. So that is a fairly rare option. And this one kind of stumbled me in the video because it looks like a C, but it almost looks like a G. And it looks like it says 05, and that's not an option. And then it says convertible, and it looks like it might say top, and it says white. So I whenever I shot the video of actually looking at the sticker for the first time, I kind of struggled to figure out what that was. But sitting down here looking at it, there is a C08 option, which is a vinyl hardtop covering, but I didn't realize they also offered those in white. So if we go back here, looks like Mid-America sells the Alnock top, and sure enough, they do have a white vinyl hardtop covering. So I thought they were only black. Maybe that was for mid-years. I'm not sure, but they had a white one available. So this car originally had the hardtop with a white vinyl covering on it. So that is pretty much the only option that's not currently present on the car. The hardtop's there, but the covering is long gone. Jumping down, we have F41 special suspension. So that's special front and rear suspension. F41, 1,758 of those. They did not make very many of those. That is actually our most rare option on the page. It was rare in mid-years and rare here as well. So if you had a big block, you would have your big block springs and your sway bars, but you would get, I believe, special sway bars, and you would also get special shocks. So I'll have to look to see if they have the original shocks on the car. If so, those are definitely worth hanging on to. They definitely don't work anymore, but they're worth keeping. So then down here we have U15. That code is pretty clear, and we know that is a speed warning indicator. So they made 3,453 of those. So going up the top here, we can see pretty quickly that the special suspension, the engine, the hardtop covering, headrests, speed warning, those are all pretty rare options. So to give you perspective on all these numbers, they made about 28,568 Corvettes total. So, you know, when you see numbers like that, those are pretty rare. So whenever we couple the interior and exterior colors, so we know it's from the trim tag, we know it's a 986 paint code, Silverstone silver, 3,435. It's not the most rare color. It's kind of in the middle. Standard black interior. We know we have a black convertible top. We did not see any options on here for the tires. It was blank, so I would assume it would have came with a black wall tire because they had an option here, these PT 6 and 7 for white stripe tire and a red stripe tire. Get back under there. And we also don't have a PO1 wheel cover option on here. So I'm guessing just by looking at that we have a silver car, black vinyl interior, black vinyl top, with the hard top, with the white covering on it. We have the 15x7 rally wheels and black wall tires. So if you put all that together, you're probably looking at a one-of-one car, most likely. Whoever optioned this out, whether it's a dealer or an individual, they cared about going fast. They didn't worry about some of the fancy hubcaps and stuff. They wanted to save that money. They wanted the headrest. You know, got to make sure your head doesn't fly back when you're flooring it. They didn't go for the stereo radio, saving a couple bucks there, but they were still conscious about going too fast with the speed warning indicator, but they wanted to be able to, you know, handle a little bit, so they had the heavy-duty suspension. Not sure who ordered this car, but they had some good taste, because you can see the L71, she was $437 on top of our retail price of $4,320. So I should tally this up so we get an idea. Stay open. I should tally this up to give us an idea of how much this car cost whenever it was new. I'm not going to go through and list out every single price here for every single option, but the base price of a 68 convertible was $4,320. With all these options in here, that comes to a total of $5,577.80. I really find it amusing, all the random cent values, like 55 cents, 90, 75, 15, 80, 75, 35, 10. Like, why wouldn't they just round it? Like, what was this extra 10 cents buying you with a L71? And why wouldn't they just round for the F41? Why wouldn't they just round that up to $37 even? I don't know. I guess cents meant more back then. But I thought it'd be interesting to convert this to today's money. So that's almost $50,000 if you convert it to today. And then if we look at buying a brand new Vette, base price $68,000, versus under 50,000. So the point of the story is don't buy a new Corvette, buy an old Corvette, because there's way more bang for your buck involved. Although they drive completely different, but that's besides the point. And also, get yourself a Corvette Black Book. They have all kinds of good information in it about options, sales codes, even have some stickers and, you know, pictures in the back. Get yourself one of those and do some research. You know, even if you're not restoring a car to factory specs, it's kind of cool just to sit down and look at all the options, see what it was originally, see what it looks like today. This car basically is identical to what it was back in the day, except for it's a slightly different color silver. It does not have the hardtop covering on it anymore. It still has the original hardtop, and then the wheels and tires and stuff are different, and obviously the engine block itself has been swapped out. I still have to find out if the heads are original though. But you can see the car is still pretty true to its form, even though it's not 100% original. It still has a lot of the original flavored. So it'll be interesting to see what we end up doing. I think it would be cool to put rallies back on it with either black wall tires or raised whites, whatever it would have had, and just make it kind of period to what it was. I doubt we'll ever put the white vinyl covering on it, but that would be cool to see as well. But most likely what it'll stay in the form that Greg had it whenever he owned the car, because that just makes sense. If you're trying to return the car back to the state that he had it, why not make it look the same as it did when he had it, including the bubble taillights and the later C3 Corvette wheels on it. Which, speaking of which, what year did they start using those? Look at the pictures. Got 76 has them. Was 76 the first year for them? I don't know, but you can see all these C3s have them. So they're kind of a neat looking wheel, just a different look, because, you know, they discontinued convertibles. So it was kind of cool to see that kind of a wheel on a convertible. I don't know. We'll see what we end up doing with the car. The only liberty, as if you've watched Graveyard Cars, you know what I'm getting at. The liberty that I would like to take on the car is right here. N11 off-road exhaust system. They only made 4,695 of those. I was hoping the car originally had it. The exhaust system that's on the car is very rotten. It's shot, and it was replaced once before. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of all that stuff, and I'd like to put N11 on it because it's a little bit throatier than the standard exhaust, and it's a big block. We want that thing to breathe, give a good sound. I'm not going to put side pipes on it. That's way too much work, way too expensive, and that involves changing a lot of parts. But if we already have to put a new exhaust on it, why not upgrade it? I did that on my red split window, and I really like the way that sounds, so that should help it breathe a little better. And since it's a big block, you kind of want to hear that. This isn't going to be a long trip car with all that horsepower. It's not going to get good gas mileage, so may as well enjoy it. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below if you like this video, if you want to see more kinds of videos like this, or what you'd like to see on the channel. I just thought this was a really cool video to document the history of this car. I was really excited to find that this car still had a tank sticker on it, and I thought it was worth documenting and diving into the details a little bit more. So I got a lot of work to do, and I'll catch you guys later.